Crossings, Spring 2019. I was small, you were big. You took me with you on the rowboat out across the water. I faced you, you leaned into the oars. Afternoon faded to evening, darkening sea and deserts. Sunlight lingered on Tetakawi peaks. Gulls circled and dove. Pelicans bobbed with bills tucked down. Our family back in camp, tiny figures walking around. We neared the island, low and barren, much further from shore than it looked. We gained slowly, then heard them calling us for dinner, your name drawn out like the wind. Jerry! With a shrug and a wisecrack, you turned the boat round and we headed back. 60 years later, I returned with river miles of paddling experience and an injection molded green plastic boat. I kayaked out to take a few pictures and to remember. It was mid-afternoon with light winds. The tide was coming in. I didn't worry about being on my own. After 40 minutes of steady paddling, I drew close. Cacti that looked scrubby from shore turned into majestic cardones with organ pipes 6 meters high. A line of pelicans stretched their necks and preened wing feathers. Another formation suspended high in the cerulean air. I scanned the horizon all the way from the Tetas de Cabra to where Baco-Chibampo loomed over Miramar, over towards Guaymas. My gaze lingered on La Roca, where we first camped back then. 8 kilometers in by dirt road from the Pan American Highway. Now the Charlie's Rock Palapa was perched on top, bordered by a crumbling malecon and a strip of coastline condominiums. Turning about, I paddled for home. Soon I realized that the nose of the kayak was angling up from the water and the back was riding low. I shifted my weight forward and dug in for speed, but water sloshed forward in the cockpit. A swell came over the back deck and the boat swept out from under me. I imagined for a flash letting it all go, swimming for it. The kayak, the paddle, the dry bag, my keys. But I saw that I could push the flip boat in front of me for flotation and hold on to it all. I kicked forward and began to slowly make my way in. The people on shore continued to stroll the sand, wade in the tide, walk their dogs, play with their kids. Diners on the deck of Charlie's Rocks sipped margaritas and crunched chips with salsita. After a steady hour, I could recognize people on the beach where I had embarked. My wife and dog were walking in my direction. Kate peered out to sea, but did not see me. Huck's white tail waved in the breeze, a welcome banner. When they turned in between the condos, she stopped to talk to some people who pointed in my direction and handed her binoculars. 2 men hauled a kayak to the water and paddled out to me. "How can we help you?" "I think I can make it in from here. Just make sure I don't drown," I replied. They thought better and towed me in the final yards. Humbled and stretching out my cramped feet, I saw Kate's worried relief and held her to me. I knew that I would make it in, but saw a single detail make all the difference. A dislodged drain plug sank me, and the sea rolled on without malice, willing to swallow me without a burp until I washed free. And to people gazing to see, I was just one more odd splashing ripple, even to those who loved me best, to those who call me home for supper far across the water. Next day at Charlie's, we touched hands and raised a margarita, studying the light on the waves out by Isla de la Raza.